had a performance of the New York City Ballet do something called the Dancers Emergency Fund. It was produced and created by the dancers, and I thought that we had a large enough talent pool in order to do that. We have very creative dancers, very musical, great choreographers, and actually after watching the first run, it's superb. It has to be one of the best, if not the best shows that our company, that New Mexico Ballet, has ever put on.
Well, for this production, I was tasked with producing the show itself, which has been a big feat to take on. I have an immense piece for the show called Virtus, which is Latin for strength, and that's the whole premise behind the piece. I wanted to do a piece with all of our guys because we do have a large male dance pool here, and they're all very talented, and so I wanted to be able to do a piece that showcased their abilities beyond just standing and partnering somebody. My second piece is a duo choreographed for Tatiana Path and Gabe Gonzalez, and it's called Same Old, Same Old. The piece is about a relationship that they're tired of being in the same spot. They don't want to leave each other, but they don't want to be in this relationship if it's going to be the way it is anymore, so something has to change in it, and the catalyst is both of them deciding that they want to make it work out. The final piece I have in the show is actually the finale number. It's called Humanity in Motion, and the whole premise behind it is, as dancers, we tend to break the mold in terms of moving differently and being artistic outside of the normal everyday life. And so what I wanted to do was choreograph a piece that showcased how we set ourselves apart from one another. Even though it's very clean and there's a lot of similar choreography, it has a very lonely feel to it, so that it shows that when you have that kind of passion in life, as our two soloists do, they find each other through the monotony in the piece and are able to kind of bring out some different styles, and through that build everyone else to move differently as well.
So my piece is On the Town. It's a Broadway jazz piece. What I really wanted to do is make sure our dancers did a piece that had a lot of energy, something different for them, which requires a lot of personality, and I just wanted them to have a lot of fun. I was in charge of marketing and making sure that the word is spread out across Albuquerque about the show. I wrote a press release for the first time, which was a challenge.
Right now I am coordinating the volunteers, everyone from ticket sales, box office, bake sale, ushers, backstage, all that. I'm trying to bring everybody together, the unspoken heroes of the show, to let this show be a cohesive piece of work. What I have choreographed is Bust Your Windows. It's a tango, and my background is actually in ballroom. That's what I've been dancing for about 4 years now. Really only been doing ballet a bit, and it was just really interesting to kind of be able to cross genres between tango and ballet and bring all of these different specializations in to really give a well-rounded piece that I think will have a good end product.
I've been a part of the New Mexico Ballet Company for the past 10 years. I started with Nutcracker at the age of 8, and then I started doing the spring shows about 5 years ago. And this show in particular has been very special because it's allowed me to try different styles of dance, including jazz and contemporary, and then of course tango, which is completely new for a lot of us. It's been a great experience getting to work with different dancers, work with new dancers that have been coming in. And especially this year we've had a lot more male dancers, so a lot more opportunities to partner, which is always really fun and exciting.
So for this show, I really wanted to do a classical piece. I started kind of digging through some of the most famous classical ballets, and I was watching Swan Lake about 3 months ago, and the pas de trois from Act 1 really caught my eye. It's very subtle, it's not like the rest of the ballet. There's no tutus, there's no swans, but it's normal and it's simple and it's very pretty, and that's why I decided to do it. I set it on myself, but the choreography is by Maurice Petitpas, who is one of the most famous ballet choreographers. I was in charge of some of the communications for this show, and it works out really nicely because I am a journalism major at UNM, so I got to practice a little bit of my people skills with this. I basically sent out all the information in a weekly email to all the dancers every week, and I help them kind of understand what's to come for each week, and that's kind of it. I'm kind of the middleman.
Well, I have 2 pieces in the show. The first one is called Another One Bites the Dust. I felt like I really wanted to do a tap piece because, there's so many tappers in the company who just don't get to showcase it, so it's been really nice to work with them. And my second piece is called Lover's Eyes. It's by Mumford & Sons, and it's a contemporary piece. Each couple, there's 4 couples, and each of them are a phase in a relationship. So there's a couple who's fighting, there's a couple who just met for the first time, and then there's a couple who's in love, and then the other one are breaking up or heartbroken. They're expressing their feelings through their movements, and it's a really cool piece.
So the piece I'm doing is called City of Dreams. It is a jazz piece. I've always loved bossy style, so I decided to choreograph this piece on the junior company, which has been a great process, and a little shaky as well because they're young and still learning, but they're really fast learners, and it's been great. My duty for this performance was to be a costumer, so I had to go to the storage and go into many rooms and try to find different things for the pieces that the choreographers wanted. And then also to help take in the costumes, make them fit great, add extra headpieces, and just tie in everything.
So my piece is Audentia. It is Latin for courageous or courage. I worked with a junior company, so I have 7 girls in my piece, and it's contemporary. I wanted to break the kids out of the box a little bit and get them moving around and dancing and not quite so stiff. It's really challenging choreography, but I talked to them a lot about what the piece meant, and that it meant courage, and that they were getting the courage to go out there and really show what they can do. For this show, on top of choreographing, I designed the program, I helped with the show order. On top of that, I also did the sponsorship letters, which was the first time I've ever done that. And I learned a lot about show order and trying to make sure that people don't have quick changes and that the pieces flow correctly. You want a really good beginning, a really good end. I feel like we've all learned a lot.
Everything has certainly been an eye-opening experience to the other side of the business for us, so I think that it's been a great learning process for everyone involved. Very proud to see everyone working so well together and to come up with a pretty great show.